actually has a pretty significant shooting
All right,
club.
now we're recording. I forgot to hit record earlier. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Now we're recording. We only missed like 2 minutes. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what I was saying is that one of the things about U of T is that we do have perhaps a bit of a buried one, but we do have a history of shooting clubs in the I think between the 30s and the 60s or 30s and the 70s. We had a range operating on campus property, and there was a significant membership of university student interested shooters. So that's something that I'd love to kind of dig into a bit of the tradition and the history around that. Obviously, there are things that we can't do like they did. We can't bring firearms onto university property. We can't shoot at the range that I think they're using for storage now or whatever they're using it for. But I'd love to engage with some of that history and that tradition there, because I think there's some cool lessons to be learned with our past for sure.
Well, I think it'd be cool as well with the university. Like then you can say this is a club like since fucking 1948 or whatever, right?
Yeah. Especially with the institution as old as U of T. Yeah, there's definitely something under there for sure.
I mean, I love all that history. Like, I try and come up with slogans for all the sponsors. The only one I have right now for Beretta is since 1926 because it's really old.
And, or 15 something, right? You said 15?
Sorry, yeah, I keep saying 90. Yeah, 1526, 50. So it's coming up on 500 years.
Yeah.
Like my regiment in the military, we just celebrated 500 years. I think that's really cool. And I'm like this much of that history.
And you were UK military?
No. Accents, it's supposed to be English, but I'm Swedish originally.
Oh, okay.
So we have conscription back home. So I served 21 years ago. And I just got a tattoo of it a couple of years ago. I'll let the conspiracy theorists go nuts on what that symbolizes. Some people may or may not recognize that. But no, it's we wore that on our dress uniform. We were an offshoot of the military police. We did counter sabotage. So we still carried a police symbol, and that's what that is basically. It's like, for example, in Sweden, all our police agencies have that symbol as part of their crest or their shield. So I just slapped it on the forearm and some ink. But sorry, I'm going off tangent here, but I really like that history, and I think especially with these older university clubs, that could be a good way to sell it to the university. Is like this isn't something new. We're trying to blah 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 this members, and maybe some of the older teachers remember these clubs. You get a little bit of the faculty involved.
Yeah, obviously the political and the social landscape has changed a bit since then, and that's not anything that we've denied to the university at all. And I think that there had to be some dialogue and some conversation there about what does a shooting club at U of T look like in the 21st century. But I think we nailed a good middle ground with the university. They're happy with what we've presented, and we're happy with what they've required of us. So it's kind of like a new age thing, right? So I want to engage with that tradition for sure and that history. And I'm glad that we could kind of I'm sure there's someone that was involved in a club like that in days gone by that would be proud to hear or is proud to hear that the University of Toronto is back at it with another club like that. So
exactly, maybe it's somebody's the parent or grandparent, right? Maybe they can come in for the days. Oh, I remember. Here's a picture of me shooting whatever, full automatic, I assume back.
Yeah, rocket launchers
and BCIT, I know you guys are very busy out there. Like I think I mentioned a couple of times, I'm on you guys' Discord, and you guys are really active, even with COVID. Like you guys making it happen.
Yeah, we'll try our best.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that is like what I see on the Discord. Is that like club events, or is that like just club members going shooting together?
It's club members going shooting because we cannot officially organize club events if we don't figure out the insurance issue, like the student association told us. That's why like all of our events were actually club members going to shoot with each other. We are not having official club events.
Fair enough. Because I know the CSF have started cooperating a little bit tighter with the Canadian Precision Rimfire Series, and they're having one of their, I think it's called the Outlaw event, happening it might actually be June in Calgary. Or at least they're shooting for, pun intended, of having one in June. And that's another one, just like Project Maple Seed. That's another one of those packaged things that you can, like, they've got specific. I don't know. Are you familiar with that, Max or Joe, with this?
No, I don't think so.
With the PRS. So PRS is just rimfire stuff. Rick that runs it, he's been on the show as well. I believe they started doing a podcast as well, which I think is on Wednesdays. But it's the Canadian Precision Rimfire, CPRS, Canadian PRS, Canadian Rimfire Precision Series. They've got some pretty active members on Facebook. They've got a really good shot who kind of recorded and documented him getting into this. His handle on YouTube is Womfat. And he's got some pretty cool stuff on YouTube, including, I'm not kidding, 1,000 meter or yard 22 shot. I know. Well, you know what? I saw comments, and Kelly Lynch from Slamfire. I saw she put it. I think it was on her Facebook, and some guy started chirping. And were like, "Oh, shoot 300 meters with that." So I posted the link of him doing it.
That's pretty incredible.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like a 20-minute video, and they set up target on a frozen lake, and then they had like a spotter, obviously a safe distance off to the side, but with binoculars within visual, and then Womfat shooting, and then he got a couple of hits on that. Like, it was a big steel target, like it's quite large, but you can see the impacts and you can hear the impacts, and that's pretty cool.
I'm surprised that it doesn't just like barely nick it at that, like it hasn't lost all of its velocity by the time it gets to
I'll send you the like the group chat we had for this episode. I'll send you that video because it's pretty cool. But yeah, PRS is coming, like Rimfire is coming up quite a lot, and they've got some of their events that you can have locally, and they have set stages. So they said for you to organize one of their events, you need like a step ladder so you can shoot off that. You need like an oil drum so you can shoot off that, and like they have certain things set up, and then you can it's kind of like a finished product. So your members can just kind of jump in on that, go through the stages, and then just compare scores.
Yeah, Rimfire is nice and cheap too for the most part.
Exactly, student pricing.
Yeah, exactly. I end up winning the CUSF giveaway for the student conference. Yeah. So I've got my first little Rimfire precision rifle on its way. So there you go. There's my ticket.
Yeah. No, I started with Rimfire. Like I've shot. I've liked guns since I was a kid. I shot a little bit in the military back home, and then I was a correctional officer out here for a while, and for a time I worked for the Fed, so I carried guns there. But personally, I've only had guns for maybe 2 or 3 years. I'm quite new to it, so a lot of the questions I ask on the episodes I'm asking for myself as well, because I'm still quite new to it. So for now, I'm just sticking with Rimfire because I'm not bored with it. I'm not yet shooting better than the gun. The gun is still out shooting me, if that makes sense. And then I might go the hunting route, or I might go, like, I know my wife, she might want to do more of the action stuff. She's a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I really like military surplus. I'm forever looking for a Swedish Mauser because I used to shoot those when I was 15 in the militia back home. I
would do anything to be allowed to own like an FN, FAL, or C1A1 or L1A1 or any of the FN, FAL variants. Man, I'd love to get my hands on one of those, if only it wasn't. It's prohibited, I think, under the same manner that all previous military service rifles are prohibited in Canada, but it's just too bad because it's such a nice platform that I'd love to be able to use. I didn't get in. I'm in the military in Canada. I'm a reservist. I didn't get in soon enough to ever interact with the C1s. So I've had some time behind a C7. But I'd love to see one of the FNs in person. I haven't got the chance though.
What branch are you in?
I'm in the Navy. I'm a naval reservist.
In Ontario?
In Ontario, yeah. Well, we have the Great Lakes here, right? So close enough.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in for over 2 years now to the reserves. Two of my tattoos not visually accessible right now. Well, I can roll the sleeve up, I guess. One on my arm, one on my leg. They said those are not okay. So it took the better part of a year for them to say which one was not the most okay. And then I got that covered up, and I think I'm about 9 months and counting since I got it covered up, and I'm just literally waiting for them to say, yep, that's covered up.
Yeah, it can be a challenge. I know some folks that have been struggling to get in, and there's reasons for that challenge to exist. I got in when I was 16, so I had very little in my closet to worry about when I applied. But it's been a good ride. So if it's something that you're ready to go for and are passionate about, I think it's worth it. For sure.
Oh, I've got 8 hours of cover up tattoo saying that I'm still.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, that's some commitment. So,
well, I mean, I was in the military. My wife was in the military. One of her brothers was in the military, including a couple of tours in Bosnia, and her other brother is currently in the military. And he's like, we're fucking screaming for people. Like, why don't they just let you in?
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, guns. No, that was a good episode. I made a couple of notes along the way as far as questions and stuff. I think I hit all of them. Out of towners. Well, that was one thing I missed when we were talking about retention. Like, I mean, do people travel to your university? Like, I know Dave is from Calgary, but he went to university out in Ontario. So do people graduate and then leave, or do you find that happening much?
I mean, not much experience on my end to speak to that. Maybe more on the BCIT side, for just because you guys have been around a little longer.
Yeah.
I had some friend who actually graduated from University of Toronto and then moved back to Vancouver.
You took him.
Yeah, he was immigrated to Canada when he was like 16, like 14 or 16, with his parents back in the early 2000s, and he was taking his high school in Vancouver, and he go to Toronto for his university, and then he came back to Vancouver to start his own business. So I guess that's really depends on people. I guess you can get the statistics from the university if you really look into that. You can just ask the admission department of your school, say how many of our students are currently like domestic, how many of them are from other parts of Canada, or like how many of them are international. They get that data. I don't think that one is open for public, but you can definitely show them the email and do some research on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, I'm sure there would be some kind of cooperation between universities. Like if there's alumni from Toronto, for example, that are, like you said, move back to Vancouver, well, encourage them to go find their local shooting organization out there, just to carry the torch.
Yeah, it's nice to have this sort of overarching CUSF umbrella that sort of connects us. Otherwise, I think we'd be pretty lost in the dark in terms of like, what do we do? Where do we go? A lot of those sort of paths have been lit by CUSF torches. So
that's a symbolic pat on my back for Dave. Yeah, no, I think this is his baby, but this is a really good one. I think this is a good organization, and I don't know, it's nothing but growing. Even during COVID, it's growing.
Yeah. You gotta do something for fun. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Well, we're at just past 13 minutes. I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat afterwards. But yeah, no, it was really nice talking to you guys. I'll send you, Max. I'll send you that video of Womfat doing his 1,000 meters yard shot, because it's pretty cool. And his videos are really, like, he films them in his, I'm assuming his garage, where he's got his gun set up and he's talking through it. And then he's got a lot of videos of like events he's gone to shooting, and he's a very technical guy, but how do I say this properly? He's very technical without getting too technical. I don't know. I'm sure you'll like it. And I've talked to him about coming on the show as well, so hopefully he'll show up here one of these days. But all right, I gotta go have dinner. I'm sure you guys have to get on with your evening as well.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to meet Max. Good talking to you again, Joe.
Sure. Take care for now.
Have a good night.
See you, folks.
Bye-bye.